Hi, Ida here. It's time for a new tag, and this time I thought I'd do one that I think was called My Best Advice or something, and I also think it originated with Brian Cormack Carr. If you haven't checked out his channel, do it because he is great. Is one of my favorite channels. So go and have a look at that. I'll try to put a link below. And I wasn't really going to do this tag at first because I am not very good with advice. I'm sure I have received a lot of really, really good advice through the years, but I'm just not very good at remembering them because I have the memory of a goldfish. It goes in here and out there most of the time. But there is one advice that I received once that has stuck with me through the years. It's from an old professor at university. This was my first year at university, so this must have been like in 2001 or something. My God, that's how old I am. And we were doing some kind of assignment. We were a group and we were struggling a bit. We had chosen a topic that was perhaps a bit sort of too complicated for us, considering the level we were at the time, because it was in the very beginning. And so we talked to our professor about it, and I'm sure he came with a lot of like very more like other advice too that were more sort of you could try this or you could try that too, because he was a very good professor. He was very experienced and very intelligent, and he also had a tendency to say things in a way that you weren't sure if he was joking or if he was being serious. But when you thought about it, because it was quite funny the way he said it, but then when you thought about it, there was actually something sort of useful there too. And what he said, the thing that I remember that he said was that it's never too late to give up, you guys. That's what he said. And at first you think he's being ironic. When you think about it, it actually was not very stupid advice. It just sounds backwards because we're so used to being told that, oh, never give up, just keep pushing, keep fighting. So the idea of giving the advice to someone that it's never too late to give up sounds kind of backwards. But it is something that stuck with me, probably because it was so unexpected. But then it has actually been useful for me in life. And it's not that I don't agree with the whole idea of never giving up. I can be quite stubborn myself, and as long as it's something that is really important for you, as long as you're really passionate about something, as long as it's matters a lot to you, as long as it's in line with like your higher will or whatever you want to call it, then of course you shouldn't give up. I totally agree with that. But there are some circumstances when keeping trying is actually not what's best for you, when it just doesn't serve you anymore. And it can be when you hang on to things that doesn't serve you anymore because you changed, or because they were never really your thoughts or ideas or dreams or goal to begin with. It was expectations of others, for instance. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind, that if you're like really struggling with something, or if you're pushing really hard and working really hard towards something that you like stop and think sometimes, like I'm sorry, like, does this really serve me? Is this really what I really want? And it can be difficult to let go of things if you if it's something that you've been invested that you have invested a lot of time or energy or perhaps money with, if you have had other people involved, like either you've been telling people for a long time that this is your dream, this is your vision, or if you had people helping you towards that goal, it can be very difficult sometimes to just even realize that this is not what you want anymore. It's not what's good for you anymore. And it can be very difficult to accept that. And it can be very difficult to let go. So I think remembering that no matter how much you have invested in something already, no matter how committed you've been, if it doesn't serve you anymore, it's never too late to give up. It's never too late to let go and move on, if that's what's best for you. The trick is, of course, to identify what's good and what's really like what's really your higher will, and what's something that come from the expectations of others, or that something that's just been taken with you from when you were younger, and it's just not you anymore. and this applies to anything, of course. It can apply to your spiritual path and your spiritual practices, but it can also apply to careers or relationships, and any kinds of dreams or goals you have, any kind of opinions or ideologies you have. If it doesn't serve you anymore, it's never too late to give up. It can be difficult, but for the most part it can be done. Sometimes it's better for you, and you just need to sort of listen within to see what is really right for you, which is the right way forward. So that's my advice from my old university professor. I hope it can be of use to someone else. It has served me well in several situations in my life, actually. Because, as I said, I am pretty stubborn. So sometimes I just charge ahead towards something without really stopping and thinking if it's really what I want. So yeah, it's never too late to give up. Remember that. If you like this, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.